Hello, Ben Opit here from Wiise. One of the biggest challenges Australian businesses are facing is profitability by job. That could be a contracted job or a specific job relating to the service you're providing to customers. Not only is it a challenge because systems aren't usually connected the way they should be or the way that they could be, but it's difficult because there's payroll associated to that as well. So here at Wiise, we've got a solution that can help manage this process for you. Let me show you a very quick demonstration of how we could help your business. So at the moment you can see I'm logged in as I'll actually show you by showing you this menu at the top corner here, the Project Manager Role Center for a company called Wiise Professional Services. I have gone ahead and set up a demonstration here for a job that we're providing to a client. It's a very basic job just because we want to show you the flow of information and how the job can be associated to the actual effort and how the effort can be sent through to payroll for processing as well. So let me go and take you into the job itself. Specifically, we're looking at this job number 50. Now I'll open the details and I'll show you a bit more here. So at the top here, we've got the general information regarding to this job. For example, the job number, a description of it. In this case, it's just my Wiise timesheet flow. Who we're selling this job to or who we're providing a service to. If they've given us a purchase order number, I'm capturing that as well. The person responsible, which means the person is going to be managing the timesheet allocation, as well as being generally responsible for this project. And also if there's a project manager assigned to it. I don't have a project manager here. We have some more details. If we click on more details, we can get more information. For example, the shell to address, who the contact is as well. So I'm just going to click on show list and continue down the line here. So this level here is the line level. Now in this example, I've only got one task, which is called a timesheet full time. But you could have multiple tasks that are related to the project that you're trying to deliver. For example, stages of a project or milestones if you wish. Just to keep this process nice and simple, I have this one job task and two people allocated to this job as well, which I'll show you in a second. You can see here that job task line is posting, but we could have a beginning and end totals as well if we want to see in a snapshot how we're progressing as our contracts are progressing through their various stages. I've got two department codes here, so I've got a sales department code and a project code as well. These are our dimensional tags. These tags flow through to the general ledger for our reporting purposes. I've got a start and end date. I've got some budgeted total costs. I've got some actual costs as well, which will flow through once we approve a timesheet, and how much is actually billable to the client as well. And clearly you can see we've not produced any invoices to this for this example. So I've got some expected budgeted costs, which is my resources and what I'm expecting to sell the service to my client at as well. If I continue down, you can see we've got different posting stages as well. The status of this document could be open, planned, quote, or completed. Completed means that all revenue's been recognized and you can allocate your WIP accordingly. I don't have any WIP processes for this demonstration. It's just a very basic overview of the process. But we can break things down to different types of job posting as well if we wish to do so. You may have one part of your business that has different job postings compared to the other. How much is complete of this job and how much we've invoiced. So none has been complete and we've not invoiced any. Further down, we get some information about billing to, so we can have this job go to a different customer or a different ship to address, which could be an example where you might be performing services or multiple contracts to the same customer. And duration dates. Just take note, my planning for this example is in 2023, so it's April next year. So let's jump into the planning lines itself. So if I click on these three dots here and jump into the planning lines, we're actually going to see the details of this job task number 100. You can see here that I've got a resource of myself and John Lee. Both of us are going to be spending about 8 hours on this job. This is my unit cost of how much it costs for me to be utilized in this job and how much John is, as well as how much we're going to sell this as well. So if I move across to the right, you'll see that's where we get that figure here. So these two areas here are relating to how much we're selling the service to your client at, and these two areas here is how much you're costing the company in terms of effort. These are both billable and budget, but you could have either billable or budget lines. Just again for the demonstration, budget and billable is what we're going to be utilizing here. You'll notice that there's half an hour that's being already transferred to the journal. That's because I've already processed a timesheet, but I'm going to continue to post some more through in a minute as well. So that's a very quick overview of the process. Now we can do things like navigate and create a sales invoice for the total amount if we wanted to. Maybe that's to happen towards the end of the month. Or we could specifically run into the pricing discounts and give specific discounts for resources for this job as well. So if I click on the resources tab, for example, if I was to say for job 100, and it's for Ben Opit, if he's doing a certain type of function, I'm usually in this example using ordinary time hours. The agreement is for a specific price at a discounted rate for a period of time, as an example. I'm not going to do that here, but that's something you can also manage specifically at a job level. So let's jump back to the front screen. And if I scroll down, you'll see some of these tiles. There's this one here, approved timesheets, which are needing to be approved. There are 2 submitted timesheets and 2 that have been approved, as I mentioned to you before. But let's go into the let's go and manage the actual timesheets that have been submitted, which I posted just previously. I'm just going to sort by ascending because I want to see timesheet number 1 and number 2. These are both of the timesheets that I've set up for this demonstration. As you can see, they've both been submitted. And as you can also see, that top one is that half an hour that I've already approved and posted, and it already has been sent to Wiise Payroll as well. So let's go into this first timesheet and have a look. So that bottom timesheet has already been submitted and sent off for payroll processing. Now, what I could also do on this timesheet is I could actually process and approve and send this to job planning lines, which is the actual billable cost associated to this timesheet. Or I could look at the actual line details and look at activity just to see specifically what this timesheet was relating to. If I wanted to do that, I could. I could also go to show and look at the line comments. In this example, I just took a quick note saying no issues found, but that comment could be from any comment that's valuable for your business. So let's send these top 3 jobs off for processing and sent off to Wiise Payroll for processing. So we're going to submit those. Do you want to create and post the suggested job planning lines for the timesheet? Yes, I do. And you'll get a message about usually not being linked to the job planning line because the line table field is empty. It's fine. We'll update that on the job planning line itself anyway. So we're just going to click yes to that. And then those timesheets have also been sent already off to payroll for processing. There's that one more timesheet, which is number 2, as you can see here. I'm going to select through those as well and go to process and approve and send off. So we are going to process these. Same message about the usage not being applied, but we will apply that in the job journal itself. So those have been submitted and approved, posted and sent to Wiise. So done. We've completed our job of approving the timesheets and having them flow through. So if we jump back into our job quickly, you'll see we've actually got a budget cost of 480, but we've actually billed 576 hours of time. So we're over budget here specifically for this time. So if you click on that, we'll see what's happened. And this is all of the timesheet data that's been associated to this effort. So I was supposed to only have 3 hours allocated in ordinary time on this project, but I've billed way more than I needed to. So you get this high level detailed information flow through to the job itself. So we've got some billable costs, we've got some actual costs that have flowed through, and we've got a billable total amount. The next thing I could do is actually go and process the create sales order invoice option, which is a function that's built into the system that's called job create invoice. I just type the first few letters of each and then we can bring up this task. Now this job create sales invoice is a function that you can run at any stage. I'm just going to change the date to be more along the lines of the date that we're posting this invoice for. And I can filter down to that level what we're trying to post, and specifically job task 100. Now I can schedule this so it can happen at a frequency, like for example every month or every quarter or every week, whatever the schedule might be for your accounts receivable team. But in this example, I'm just going to run it. So one invoice has been created. So it hasn't been invoiced yet, it's just been created, it's ready to be processed. So if I go to navigate now and click on sales invoice, you'll see that this invoice is here for the quantity of 16, which is what we said we would bill for. That's that $848. So if I go and post this invoice now, I won't do just for a moment because I want to finish off the payroll side of things. We'll have revenue of $848 associated to this job. Yes, I am sure I've not posted this, so I want to leave it where it is. So now, how does this help when it comes to now allocating the payroll side of things? So let's jump into our payroll solution and have a look at what happens here. Now, just as a quick setup here, I'm just going to show you a list of employees. So I've got myself set up here as an employee, as well as John Lee. Just as a heads up as well, John Lee in this demonstration environment is using the Cleaning Services Award as an example, and is a full-time level 3 employee. So the rates of pay come across automatically as well. Use timesheets to submit all time worked is ticked, which means any work that John Lee does will only be paid based on those timesheets. So we'll need to go and approve the timesheets and process a pay run for John Lee. So to do that process, we can go to approve timesheets. We're going to have to look for any status, but we'll have to change our dates to somewhere around the 27th of March. Now, this is a fortnight pay frequency, so you'll see 2 weeks of data potentially coming up. Now, I've only completed 2 timesheets here, so you're seeing this combined here in one. So this is that effort that we created via our timesheets, including any breaks that have been assigned, as well as that John Lee's effort for that already time hours worked as well. So those timesheets have flown through. If I had also placed a roster against John Lee and myself, I could compare my roster against my actuals as well. Again, just a simple demonstration, so I'm not going to be doing that. So I'm just going to go and approve these 2 timesheets. I do. They're now approved, and I can actually process a pay run now. So if I click on pay runs and click on new pay run, same process. I'll go to the pay period ending in April. So it's the 27th onwards. The system automatically found the 2 timesheets for that period and then said, do you want to bring them in? In this case, I do. And as you can see now, my hours have come through. I am a salaried employee in this demonstration environment, so I probably should remove this one because I only want to be paid the work that I've done, which is the 7.5 hours. If I scroll down to John Lee, there's his timesheets as well, come across as well from his effort. So timesheets flow automatically to the pay run. We can click through our warnings to make sure that any of our qualifications need to be adjusted or updated, or any leave requests have been requested. As you can see here, there's some leave requests that need to be approved, and also some expense requests, but these are not relating to this pay period. So I can now click finalize pay, and the finalize pay process will flow back into Wiise itself, into what's called the, if I change my role setter, actually, you'll see this a bit better. So I'll go to my settings, and I'm going to change from the project manager to the accountant. My accountant role setter will have a little bit more information relating to the function that I'm performing, and in this case, this is the accountant role, and the accountant role happens to also do pay runs. So it's now doing a sync. I'm in the wrong company, so I better swap companies too. And we're going to go to our WildTech Professional Services company and go to payroll and do a pay runs. There's a sync that's happening to bring across any payroll data from completed pay runs. I only have this demonstration data here from payroll that I performed a couple of weeks ago. So this pay run has already run in this demonstration environment, only because it comes at a consumption cost if we run this payroll. So I'm not actually going to be processing the payroll itself, but I can show you the payroll journal. This is what the valuable things that are connected to this system, and that's how we can understand the payrolls and have the payroll journals flow through to the department codes. So each of our costs associated to each of our salaried employees can also flow through. And as you can see, I've got project A, B, and A all relating to different dimensions. So my final process is to reconcile and post. I'm not going to do that again, but that's a very quick demonstration of how we can help you in your business understand the challenges of time sheeting in jobs and how you can pay people all in one system. I hope that's helpful. I'll see you on the next one.